What is happening? Welcome to my channel. My name is Matt Bradford. Okay, so this video is going to do terribly because these do, but it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about some pickup stuff today. Basically, what's going on is this. I have a new body shape. I'm building some instruments. I absolutely love this telly. I'm building the new instruments, well, two of them, out of the same wood as the telly. Okay, so this is it's reclaimed sugar pine, and this is reclaimed sugar pine with a maple neck. I have another one that's a neck through body sugar pine. Originally, the idea, I had started like a series on how I was building them, and I lost some footage, and so if you've been following that build process, in the middle of the shot here, if you've been following that build process, unfortunately, I'm sorry, that series is not going to continue because, well, for two reasons. Number one, I lost some footage on how I make the neck profile and then how I mount them, and then two, it just man, trying to make the guitars takes a lot of time, and so trying to film it all and get it all cut together takes way too much time. So that's not happening. That being said, this is a test that I wanted to do. It's awesome. So the original pickups that were in here were Wagner Godwoods, and they were cream, which is why it has a cream pickguard. I think that I'm going to go back to the original pickups in this eventually. However, I have been loving this instrument, and particularly been loving it with Righteous Sound pickups in it. How do I present this in a way that makes sense? Okay, check it out. I'm using a Satellite Amplifiers Elmer. It is on like 4. And what it sounds like, it's a pretty raunchy amp. Okay, that's bridge pickup all the way up. Now, the way I like to set up my guitars, if this was my guitar, this would not be a problem. Okay, neck pickup does not have nearly as much juice. And then if I roll the volume back just a little bit, it cleans up great. However, the guitars I'm building are going to be for sale. And so that mismatch in pickup usually doesn't work for an instrument for sale, because I use a lot of juice, I use a lot of gain, and I don't mind the mismatch, because when you're going into a gainier amp, there's a level of compression that's happening where you don't notice the volume changes. If I was going into a completely clean amp, which I should do that. Okay, let me just set up a clean amp real quick. Okay, so we are now in my Tungsten Mosaic. And obviously that was very drivey. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just boost it in Logic when I'm done, because I don't want to change my preamp situation. Yeah, I don't want to change the preamp. So you can hear the difference, right? This is my bridge pickup. Neck pickup is way quieter. So in a clean amp, that's not going to work. And so again, for people who are clients, customers, whatever, unless you're specifically like, I want a significantly lower output pickup in the neck position, it's just not going to work. It works for me. It's a very specific thing, and it's a way I set up some of my guitars. But these instruments are going to be for sale. That's not going to work. So what I reached out to oh no, I'm blanking on his name. Righteous Sound Pickups. Josh. It's Josh. Okay. Oh, I almost had to look it up. I reached out to Josh at Righteous Sounds, and I said, hey, how about like an overwound Firebird or something that would match? I'm really loving this pickup, which is a 1018 bridge pickup. And Josh said, that's probably not going to be the best solution. Let me wind you this pickup called a Fourth Man. And so that's the one we're gonna try. So I'm gonna put three sets of pickups in here because I wanna make sure that we are comparing the bridge pickup too. Okay, so I'm gonna end up with, this is the 1018 from Righteous Sound in the bridge, and this is currently a gazing neck pickup. We're gonna lay down some riffs in a second. I'm also gonna use this guy, which you didn't see me, I had to move it out of the way to get the clean amp, but basically I'm gonna use this as a control. Right, this is one of my main instruments. This is fast becoming the other one, by the way. It's really, I'm really pleased with how it sounds. So, hence making, you know, more bodies out of those pieces of wood. So, we're gonna use the gazing neck. We're gonna use the 1018 bridge. Then we're gonna replace just the neck pickup with the fourth man, and we're gonna compare it, and again, compare it to this one, and obviously to itself. And then finally, I'm going to go back to the Wagners in this instrument, which were the original pickups, and we're going to see how those sound, which is a more traditional humbucker. You know, if you're unfamiliar with Righteous Sound pickups, obviously they look incredible and unique, but also Josh really focuses on clarity, and that's where it's at, man. That's where it's at. So let me get the satellite going again, and then we're going to get a riff going so we can compare what's happening. All right, so let's see. Let's start with cool. Now that's our bridge pickup, so real quick, let's just go to the control. Again, this is a Righteous Sound 1018, and then this is an Arcane 1978. Oh. And that's why this is my main instrument. This is they're both reclaimed pine. This one is reclaimed from a barn in Minnesota, and it's magic. And I love it. Anyway, okay, so now, not to get all misty, let's go neck pickup. This is an Arcane gold foil humbucker. I don't know what he calls it. It's the gold foil, super foil. I'm gonna put it on the screen here. Yeah, somebody actually gave me these pickups. They were like, "Hey, I have these pickups, and I just want to gift them to you." And I was like, "They look awesome." I knew they needed to go in something that looked rustic, and man, I just absolutely blown away. I mean, Rob makes great stuff too. Josh, Rob, they're incredible dudes, and they make great stuff. Okay, so neck pickup. This is the trifoil, superfoil. I don't know, whatever the neck pickup is. Okay, now, I need to do two things. I need to do the same riff we just did. Pretty rad. And then we also have to do a cleaner. That has that nice like top end and charm. This instrument has a treble bleed circuit in it. This one does not at the moment, so we're gonna probably lose a little high end. I might fix that and then well, we'll see, because the Wagners don't do well with the treble bleed. It's a whole thing. But regardless, let's see how this one sounds, and then we're gonna go from there. I do like, I mean, it really chimes even without the treble bleed. Okay, so. It's a really good sounding guitar. Oh, and then up here. Come on. Pretty cool. Very different. I'm really excited to see what happens next. Okay, so I will have put those back to back really fast so you can really hear the difference. I'm going to run into the shop. We're going to put in a new neck pickup in this guy, just the neck pickup, and then we're going to do the test again. Gotta turn that on. Okay, we're back, and the fourth man is in, which is very exciting. You just saw the wiring. If wiring, real quick, is really very simple. Guitar wiring is very simple, and if you don't understand it, it's a great way to get into working on your own guitars. It's a great way to getting into modding your guitars, because then you don't have to wait for somebody else to put the pickups in or do X, Y, Z. If you don't understand it, I have a video, I don't know, one of these sides, how to wire an electric guitar. And I go through the theoretical example of how the controls work, and then there's like a almost uncut, like, real-time version of me showing you exactly how I wire an instrument. Okay. Oh, and I didn't even do this stuff. Look, if you enjoy the stuff I'm doing, I have a Patreon. Today there's no reason to subscribe other than just support the channel. If you like videos like this where I'm just talking about gear and stuff, then please join me on Patreon. Eventually we'll do giveaways and stuff. Right now it's not big enough, but it's $5 a month. It's like nothing. You know what I mean? That's $60 a year. I have t-shirts and hats and things and mugs. My mug's gone. It's later in the day. They have these logos on them. They're awesome. I build and sell instruments, obviously. This one is currently for sale, and the link to my Reverb store is below, or you can email me for a way better price. When you start looking at like the fees and the taxes and all the stuff that Reverb tax on, it's like I'm in California. Like, I don't have to charge you sales tax in other states. You get to deal with that yourself. In California, I got to charge you sales tax. But like, that's how this works, and so I can give you a way better price. So email me, or if you want to just leave me a tip, you're like, man, I got something I really got something out of this. I want to leave you a tip. Bam, QR codes, leave me a tip. Okay, so, nope, that's not the riff. Darn it, I gotta learn the riff, hold on. Okay, so actually, I think that was the riff. Alright, that's punchy and cool. And then, no, not that. Okay, that cleans up great. I'm missing a little bit of the chime. It's rolling off a little highs, but the one thing I want to try, before we go to the Wagners, I want to throw a treble bleed circuit in here. I really like, I think I prefer the gazing. It, for myself, it had a little more of the chime, but a treble bleed makes all the difference in the world, or can. So again, each of these things, like a pickup, let me just go on a tangent. Okay, I'm going to put, and I hopefully wrote this on the video earlier. I'm going to put all the tests, I'm going to put them back to back. There's going to be like a simple A-B thing at the end of this video. So if you just want to go there, I'm sure I linked it earlier, or you can check the chapter markers at the end. But if you're interested in what I have to say, then welcome, because I have so much. Check it out. So different instruments obviously sound different. I'm not going to get into the whole tone wood thing. I'm going to tell you this. You know, I know there's like a video of some dude like making a guitar out of plywood and then going like, "Well, look, it's the same." If you don't believe in tone woods, that's fine. I don't care. I do. I think that if you're taking that as the definitive thing, that you don't really understand how like science and peer review and people who also are experts in the field double checking someone's work works. If you talk to people who build guitars, if you talk to people who build pickups, if you talk to people who are doing this on a daily basis, different wood does sound different. It's part of the whole. So, different pickups in different guitars sound different. I just sold a couple guitars that I thought sounded great, but one of them was the guitar that I did the Is This Guitar a Dud video for. And in that video, I tried a couple different sets of pickups. And then you can see that guitar later in, I think it's just called Testing Some Guitars, and it's this one's in there, and the other one that I just played, this one's in there, and at that point, I had put another set of pickups in that yellow one, and it came alive. And the pickups that I put in there were Wagner Fillmores, I think, and I had taken those out of another guitar because I didn't like the way they were working in that guitar. And that guitar had felt dead to me, and I put a set of Mr. Glynn's Attitudes in that guitar, and it sounds great. And then I had this set sitting around, and I was like, well, let me put these in this yellow guitar that I just can't get to work for me, and it came alive, and it was like, this is incredible. And then that's the one I played with Tool, and blah, blah. So, anyway, the point is that, like, this is all part of the whole. So a pickup not fitting into a certain instrument doesn't mean the pickup doesn't fit or isn't good or whatever. It's kind of a balancing act. And also, this pickup sounds great. It just doesn't have, right now, the chime. And I'm going to see if I can get some of it back. I didn't do that with the gazing. Maybe I should have. But, you know, we're going to try that with the gazing also. And obviously I'll just have popped them back and forth just now. But like, let's see, because that single coily thing, that's the thing. I have found some humbuckers that I love, and I'm going to tell you this gold foil, super foil thing, whatever, trifoil, whatever this is called, is killer, and I love it. But the thing I'm missing in an instrument right now, the thing that I'm missing that I love is I love that Strat neck position, and I would love to have it. I'd love to have it hum canceling if possible, but yeah, the only guitar I had that really had that in it was this white Apocalypse machine that I just sold. So I need one of those for myself, and we're building these new guitars, and we're gonna see. But so that's the test. Let's put a treble bleed in here, and then see how that feels. Okay, and if you've never used a treble bleed before, you don't know what one is. Basically, it's a capacitor, which is what this is, this little guy. And I think it's 100 pi. I don't know. I'll put the value on the screen. But it just goes between the input and the output lug on your volume pot. Now, I have so many things to say about these. Look, number one, I like to do the Kinman version, which then adds a 100K resistor in series. I just found that to me gives the best volume roll off, but I am, you know, everybody has their own preference. And then on top of that, you know, I've heard people say people are either pro or anti treble bleed, right? Either treble bleeds are the best or treble bleeds suck. And you know, my experience has been that different pickups like different treble bleeds. we're not going to go through the whole testing today, but, you know, like I said earlier, I think in the video, the Wagner pickups have such an incredible roll-off. They maintain their high end so well. I'm not really sure how he does that, but they don't react well to a treble bleed. Conversely, when I use like my Lawler Firebirds, it's almost a requirement to have the treble bleed. So different pickups, different scenarios, different results, and so I tend to stay away from a definitive, this is the best, this is not. This is a really easy mod that you can try to see if you like it in your instrument. It's not a big deal. I'm not gonna get, am I gonna get, yeah, I am. I'm gonna put some heat shrink on here too. So, look. I have tons of heat shrink that fits over all the stuff. I don't have a ton of this little stuff, but let's see. Let's go here and here. And just keeps everything from getting screwed up, which is good. So, heat shrink. Heat shrink. Okay, and then again, if you don't really understand soldering, I go through the whole thing in my in a couple of videos. I think I talk about it too in the building a lap steel video, but I definitely talk about it in this in the how to wire a guitar video. And okay, and we're gonna try this treble bleed and just see before we put the Wagners in if this makes a difference. I want to just get this heat shrink a little more consistent. Now that's on there, that looks good. That looks good. Yeah, back to fast speed. All right, we're back. And what's cool is that mod I think took 4 minutes to do. Right now, obviously it's a Telecaster, so the control plate's right here. You don't have to do any dumb stuff. Just a little solder on the pick guard. It's alright, that pick guard isn't my favorite plastic. I'll replace it with something better anyway. Okay, so. I'm not sure how much I like the treble bleed on here. It seems like it maybe thins it out a little bit too much. Okay, I'm kind of liking it. Alright, so that's with the treble bleed, and obviously we're gonna have A beat it tight. But also then here's the riff. It's not the right riff. How's the riff go? Okay, here's how the riff goes. all the way up. This is all the way up with the treble bleed. So I don't know how much that's affecting everything. It shouldn't be affecting anything, but you never know. Okay, so one more thing has to go in, which is the Wagners. I'm going to pull the treble bleed out. I know for a fact that I don't like the Wagners with the treble bleed, so that's out. Wagners are going back in. That was the original way I designed this instrument, and we're going to see how that sounds. These longer breaks where I leave off, I don't necessarily know what I was saying when I stopped. I'm very professional. So anyway, here is the these are Wagner Godwoods, and these were my humbucker of choice for a long time. And you know, neck humbucker, I still struggle. It's a little bit dark for me, but a lot of people love it. I'm gonna say something about that at the end. Okay, hold on. Okay, sounds great. And then clean up. And again, I took the, I had to stop because it wasn't in tune. I took the treble bleed out. I can't. It's wild to me how bright these humbuckers are when you without the. They roll off, so, not in a bad way. And again, it's my favorite roll off on a humbucker that I've ever heard. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm really excited to see how this. There's only one way to compare. Okay, let me do the bridge pickup. This is so we did the 1018 earlier, and we did the 1978 from Arcane. So I'm just gonna do the bridge pickup here. This is the Wagner. Okay. Oh, not in tune. Let's try that again. Bridge position. Play the riff properly. Or not. Guitar sounds awesome. Okay, so listen. I'm gonna throw up an A/B. Let me do this first. Let me throw up an A/B now, and then I'll give you some final thoughts. Okay, so this is the A-B comparison of everything. I'm going to put them all back to back. We're going to jump back and forth a bunch of times so you can really hear the differences between the different pickups and the different guitars. Okay, so listen, end of the day, for me, I have a ton of opinions. I think that they're informed opinions. I've been around. I've been doing this a long time. I've had a lot of instruments. I've bought and sold a lot of instruments. I've built a lot of instruments. I worked in multiple shops. I've worked on, the fanciest vintage guitars you can imagine. I have A-bead 50 Strats with brand new custom shop Strats. I've gotten to work on, 58 Les Pauls, 57 Les Pauls, 56 Les Pauls. I have some great stories there. But the point is, I've been around a lot of guitars. And so if you don't believe tone woods matter, if you think the sound is just in the pickup, then great. Go get a Squier, put some pickups in, and, leave the rest of us alone. But I'm a pickup snob. I believe that pickups are a very important part of the sound, but they are part of a whole. And one of the biggest pieces of my experience has been that pickups in one guitar do not sound the same as the same pickup in another guitar. And so selecting the right pickups per guitar is a big deal. The other thing is, when you're A-Bing pickups, a blind test is always better than whatever this is going to be, right? A blind test is always the best. I'm going to do my best to volume match everything. It should be volume matched. Louder always sounds better, etc. But these tones don't exist in a vacuum either. So, number one, A-Bing pickups, you can't really tell when you're in the room with the pickup, because then you got to go out to the shop or wherever, and it takes however long to replace the pickups and put them back in. Your ear is going to readjust by then. The way the human ear works is pretty wild, and there's a lot of science and data behind how our ears adapt. So the only way to really hear the difference between pickups is to do something like this, to record them and listen. When I initially put those Righteous Sound in here, it's because I was getting ready to do that guitar. I didn't have time to do a video. I was really interested in how those sounded. And they really blew me away. I'm excited to see how this test differs because I had different feelings in the moment this time around. That doesn't mean that those feelings are going to be verified when I go back and listen to the recordings. So if you're trying to A/B pickups, I would definitely encourage you to record a riff, the same thing, record it on multiple amps if you can, different stuff, and then see how the different sounds, because that interaction between the instrument, between the pickups and the specific instrument that you're using and the amplifier is all going to affect the sound. And then finally, I know this is so much talking. This is what you got today. This is the talking. Finally is this. I'm a pickup snob. I believe that the hand wound pickups, in my experience, sounds better. I really like shopping with the little guys. Josh at Righteous Sound, Jim at Wagner Pickups, Rob at Arcane. Those guys, man, they're every time when I reach out, I'm talking to the guy, you know, and they really know their stuff, and they're really dialed in, and I'm talking to the guy. It's not like a factory where there's a bunch of people running machines. And there's science behind scatter wound and whatever, all this stuff, and inductance and blah, blah, whatever. Point is, I think that having good pickups sounds good regardless, right? There's no wrong choice here, whether it's the Arcanes or the Wagners or the Righteous Sound, whatever. But the other thing is, and these three sets of pickups to me sound pretty different. If I was playing with somebody else, let's say I was in a band and there was a guitar player or an organ player or a tuba player or whatever, right? I want to hear what part of the frequency spectrum they're taking up, and then I want to take up a different part. Right? If somebody's got a Les Paul, I want a Telly. If somebody's got a Strat, I probably want a Les Paul. Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's all those things. And that was the last thing. Oh my God, so much talking. It's okay. This is why you're here today. We've already seen all this stuff. But anyway, so that's been my experience, right? Like, I want to fit in with whatever else is happening. So the best, this guitar sounds the best. Well, in what context? Right? I need different instruments in different contexts. And that's what you can tell your wife, husband, partner, kids, whatever. Like, I need more guitars because I need them to work for all the contexts. Finally, two of my favorite guitar players, Derek Trucks, Angus Young. Two of my absolute all-time favorites. Both play an SG. I hate them. I hate SGs with the fury of 1,000 angry samurai. They don't feel good to me. So, what's the point? The point is that what works for me isn't necessarily going to work for you. I can show you what I'm doing. I can show you my process. Hopefully you can hear what's coming from my instruments. But I'm going to tell you right now that when I play an SG, I can't get the Angus sound. I can't get the Derek Truck sound. I just get a muddy sound that I don't like, that I don't find inspiring. And that's the key with all of this. Hopefully is you're inspired. That's the idea behind it. And that's it. A little microphonic, which is what I want. I want you to hear the wood. Thank you for hanging. I hope you enjoyed it. Listen, if you liked it and you want to support the channel, Patreon or buy an instrument. I make conversion necks also. I have just a couple right now in the shop. And I'm in the middle of building some guitars. So when this batch is done, we're going to be out of stock for a little while. And then I will be out of stock. Yeah, shirts and merch, all the links are below. Thank you for hanging. I really appreciate it.